Hey, how's it going? Good morning, Tucson weather peeps. How do you like my new fancy microphone, huh? I should sound a lot better. Now, let's get into it, shall we? It is Friday. It's 9:08 in the morning, September 7th. How you doing? So, surprise, surprise, surprise. Just a 10% chance of storms yesterday, and we had one form basically in the foothills and just north of me here in Oro Valley, and kind of all that activity moved south and fell apart. So, some people getting decent rain, some people getting no rain. I got a little bit of rain, probably a hundredth. I don't know, enough to make things wet. That was about it. But we'll get into yesterday's rainfall amounts and so far for the monsoon here in just a second. Let's go over yesterday's numbers as I look over to the side so I can see what I'm pointing at. 98 yesterday's high, average 97, real close. 73 yesterday morning's low. Very pleasant on the deck with a couple cups of coffee. 71 the average low. So just 1 or 2 degrees above average yesterday. No rain at the airport. A little more than a third of an inch so far this month, and we are 0.03 inches below average for the year. Call it average. Okay. See, sunrise this morning was 6:03, sunset tonight at 6:40. Forecast today, kind of like a 0% chance of rain. So we do have a chance of storms east of us, mainly near Safford, that sort of thing, White Mountains, but not here. So maybe a couple clouds this afternoon, but 98 today's high again expected. 99 tomorrow and Sunday and Monday. I think Monday 98. Look at these lows in the low 70s. Very nice as this drier air is moving in. We got high pressure building near California, west of California, and some of that high pressure will nose in here as well. But it's more of a northerly flow that we had yesterday and continuing today and in the next few days with high pressure too. So, I mean, just the moisture's leaving a little bit, and with the high pressure and that sinking air, just really no storm chances for a while as Monsoon 2018 is ghosting us. But we anticipate by mid next week, probably especially Wednesday, looks like the best possible day. And the forecast models are sorting this out, but we may get back into a southerly flow in between a trough to our west and high pressure moving to our east, and we'll be in between, funneling that moisture back our way. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, a chance for storms right now at 10%, but we'll keep an eye on it because that may go up. All right, let's look at yesterday's rainfall amounts at rainlog.org. And here in Oro Valley, just a 0.03, 3/100ths. I live right about here, and you see a couple traces here. I got a little more than a trace, I think, but I mean, a hundredth maybe. Here are the big winners here in the foothills where the storm kind of came off of the mountains. 3/4 of an inch for somebody up here. Here's about a half inch, 2/3 of an inch. You get into Tanque Verde area, just a trace to a tenth. And as that storm moved south and started to fall apart, half inch or so, and then a 1/4 inch. This is, northeast side. This is Ina, Sunrise. This is River right here. So River and Kolb area, about a half inch of rain, 1/4 inch of rain. Trace near the U of A. And that was about it. So a few people getting some rain, which was unexpected, really. A 10% chance is not a big chance. Where are we so far in the monsoon? This is what I'm excited to show you. So let's go with the National Weather Service first. This is so far in the monsoon as of September 4th, so 3 days ago. And we're adding about 5 to 6 hundredths a day in September. So we can add another 15 hundredths to this 502 for the Tucson airport. So call it 517, 5.17 so far for the average for the monsoon. And we're at 6.25 at the airport. And average monsoon for the whole monsoon is 6.06. So a little above average for the entire monsoon right now, and about an inch or so above average of where we should be this time of year for monsoon 2018. So that's pretty good. But I know some of you are going like, this is the worst monsoon we've ever had. I'm really missing out. And some of you really are. Let's just move from the northwest and then south as we go. Big winners. Look at this. This is Tangerine. This is Rancho Vistoso. This is 8 inches of rain. 7 inches of rain, 7.5 inches of rain, 8 inches of rain, almost 9 inches of rain, 10.5 inches of rain. This is really the big winner here in northern parts of Oro Valley. You get further to the west into Marana, still pretty good amounts, 7 1/3, 8.3. Here's a 9.86, 10, almost 11 inches here. This was that microburst that really helped add to these totals. They had like 3.5 inches one day. That was the day the train derailed. You get west of the interstate into Marana, 6.5 inches, near 7 inches, 7 inches, 7 inches, 7.5. Pretty good. You get a little further south, there's rainfall amounts drop off a little bit, 5.5. Here we go, 6.5, 6 3/4, 5 1/3. So, I mean, all of this area doing really well for the monsoon. The whole northwest side. Again, I live right about here. I was surprised, a little less than I thought I had at the airport. Almost 6 inches. There's a 6 inches. So as you get closer to Ina, and again, I live right in here, so about 6 inches here at the airport. So that's pretty good for monsoon so far. Now you get into the foothills, not as good, with a few exceptions. So like, remember we had a microburst here a month and a half or so ago, and so this 5.81, 2.5 inches of that fell in about a half hour. But still, 5.81. Here's almost 6 inches. Here's 5 1/4. But then you see some 3.5 to 4 inches in here. Here's almost 7 inches. Here's Pontotoc. So near Pontotoc, only 3.5 inches of rain to 4 inches. And then you get further east. Oh, big winters here on the east side near Tanque Verde. I'm kind of in the way. Let me move this over here. So here's Catalina. No, here's Catalina Highway. I always get that messed up. This is Reddington Pass. But this whole area, we're talking 6.5 to 7.5 to almost 9 inches of rain. Here's a 10 1/4 inches of rain. So big winter in the northeast side too. And further south on the east side, some good amounts too. 7 inches, 6 1/3. Very good. Also, the southeast side doing well. 6 inches here, 7 inches here. There's 8.5. Did I do that one already? But then let's talk about the wah areas. And this is where the complaints have been coming in all monsoon. The central part of town, just not as good. Been catching up a little bit in the last 2-3 weeks. But there are a lot of, well, here's 5, almost 5.5 inches. But you get towards the U of A, there's 4.5 basically. That 9.45, I don't know where that's anomalous, so we'll throw that one out. That's 3.5 inches. That's not really great. 4 1/3, 4, 3.4 as you get towards downtown. A couple places isolated near 6 inches, but here's not quite 5. Southwest side, same story, 3.5 to 4 inches. Here are some areas that are just like 2 to 3 inches of rain. So that's kind of sad. Tucson Estate's a little better though. 5 right here. I don't know, this 3 3/4, real close to 5.5. There's a 7.7 2/3, 6 1/3. Out towards Picture Rocks, north and south. Almost 7, almost 6, 19.2. I don't know about that. 4 3/4 to 5. So, here's the problem. If you live in the center part of town, even though you've been getting some decent rains in the last few weeks, you had such a late start to catch up to the rest of us. And so I can see why you guys are complaining in this area here. But the rest of us doing either, pretty well or very well, especially on the northwest side. So I just thought I'd kind of recap that again. We're an inch above average so far in the monsoon officially at the airport. Douglas about average, Nogales about average, Sierra Vista well above average, Oracle pretty inch and a half above average. Safford really missing out below. They're the only ones below average. Wilcox half inch above average. Picacho Peak, oh my goodness. Normally at 3 inches, that's hard for me to believe, but that's what it says. And they're almost at 8. So, man. And Ajo also well above average. So that's kind of it, where we are in the monsoon so far. Obviously, September, we usually start to wind down. Still watching El Nino, warm waters in the Pacific, in the eastern Pacific, off the coast of Mexico. Will we see tropical development that may keep our monsoon going into September? And we've had years where we've had tropical development in October hit us pretty hard. That wouldn't officially be monsoon rain, but if this El Nino really is coming and we continue with the warm waters off the coast of Mexico, we still have a chance for some good rains between now and, say, mid-October, end of October. We'll keep an eye on that. We're not seeing indications of that in the near term. But keep in mind, the National Weather Service forecast for September is for above average rainfall. And we've had 1/3 of an inch so far. So 3 weeks to go in monsoon 2018. Hopefully she won't ghost us for good. All right, that's my update for this morning. I hope you found it helpful. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe and like, because I do these updates occasionally. I'm trying to get in the habit of doing them every day. I'm going to do that. And then let's see what else. Thank you for following on Facebook. That's where I get most of the interaction. And, of course, the website is tucsonweather.us. We will talk to you next time, maybe tomorrow morning. See ya.